A reoccurring theme amongst the women I work with regarding their sexuality is often a lack of fulfilling sexual relationships with themselves. Instead of being intimately connected with their body and their many pathways to pleasure, many of these women find themselves rushing toward the pressure-packed goal of orgasm and endlessly chasing fleeting pleasure in return. So ladies, give yourself permission to go on a journey with me today into a deeper sense of connectedness to yourself and empowerment in your sexuality. If you're new to this channel, hello and welcome. I'm Miss Alex, and I'm so glad you're here today, especially you ladies, because we are going to connect with each other and ourselves today in a truly beautiful way, starting with celebrating our unique bodies. The ease of access to pornographic content across social media has really taken an unfortunate toll on our fellow mothers, sisters, and daughters with unprecedented pressure to take a knife to our bodies, even the most precious and unique parts of ourselves, to fit an unrealistic, photoshopped, surgery-induced form projected onto us. And when we chronically consume these nipped and tucked images and videos, even in advertising outside of the sex work domain or through a random Instagram or Twitter scroll, we're given the unspoken message that we're not enough. Our bodies are not enough. And the only escape from this shame of being inadequate and defective as a woman is plastic surgery, labiaplasty, extreme diets, face and lip fillers, and more. The list of prescribed solutions goes on. In fact, the International Society of Aesthetic Plastic Surgery reports that labiaplasty surgeries increased by 45% worldwide between 2015 and 2016, with girls as young as 9 years old asking for the surgery. Something is terribly, terribly wrong with our society when we get to that point. And personally, when we take all of this judgment and shame about ourselves into our sex life with ourselves or with a partner, we're setting ourselves up for discouragement and lack of fulfillment, ladies. So my advice to you is to spend less time focusing on the content and messages that tell you that you're not enough, and reinvest that time on the content and messages that tell you you're enough exactly the way that you are, exactly the way that you look, and exactly in the body that you're in. And one such place I would refer you to in particular is the Vulva Gallery on Instagram. Now, this is a global community that celebrates the many amazing ways the female body looks, and the stories and community support are absolutely beautiful. So ladies, listen to me, okay? There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your body, and you certainly do not have to add anything to yourself or cut anything off of yourself to be uniquely beautiful and deeply valued. The next thing I want you to do, ladies, is practice receiving. All right, so many women have been trained by toxic content or selfish partners to show up ready to perform for their partner, especially if it's a male. And this is often where we run into faking orgasms, okay? That's performative receiving. When you aren't authentically feeling pleasure, but exaggerate your reactions in order to avoid hurting your partner's feelings, discouraging them, or bruising their ego. It's codependency. Don't ever, ever do that, ladies. Don't ever do it again, okay? When you fake an orgasm, you're essentially giving your partner a series of breadcrumbs that will lead them on a path that cannot please you, and it will only confuse them. So no more of that starting today. But in addition, I want you to practice receiving in 2 ways, sensually and sexually. But I want you to start slow with a sensual act, like receiving a hand massage or a foot massage or a back massage from your partner. But here's the catch. I don't want you to just receive in silence. I want you to communicate and direct. Give your partner positive feedback when they're doing something you like, and offer gentle redirection when you'd prefer to be massaged in a different location or in a different way. And once you're comfortable with that, move on to a session of you receiving sexually. Bring out some toys, vibrators, whatever, and have your partner please you and just lay back and receive. This is very, very important practice. But in order to do this, you will need to be honest with yourself about your sexual desires and needs. I tell the couples who come to me for help in the bedroom that sex problems are often not sex problems, but communication problems or relationship problems that are manifesting in sex. For instance, I was working with a couple a few weeks ago who've been together for many years and love each other deeply, but they haven't really connected sexually in a few months, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. They were trying to troubleshoot their problem through the sex lens exclusively, with physical seduction techniques and even kink strategies, but nothing was working. Nothing was working until we got to the bottom of it. The female partner had an unmet emotional need that was limiting her sexual interest and expression. So I simply helped them communicate around how to meet that need and take the pressure off of sexual performance, and voila. By our next session, years of anxiety and avoidance around sex were solved. So, ladies, this is where you not only need to give yourself permission to be honest about what arouses you and pleases you, but it's time to use that beautiful voice of yours and consistently advocate for your own needs by showing up in your relationship and telling your partner exactly what you need and want in and outside of the bedroom. Another big area of sexual shame I encounter with my female clients is in regard to self-pleasure. Now, this often rears its ugly head in situations where women have either been sexually abused as a child, raised in a very abusive and controlling religious circle, or have otherwise been shamed for their sexual desires or libido in the past by abusive partners. Regardless of the root, this form of vanilla conditioning can be incredibly disempowering and even downright debilitating to the female psyche and overall sexual experience from arousal to orgasm. So, if any of you listening to the sound of my voice feels ashamed, bad, dirty, wrong, sinful, or evil for desiring self-pleasure, I want to tell you right here and now that those feelings are wrong. Okay? Those feelings are there to shame you into a false sense of defectiveness that stirs up a deep sense of self-hatred. And you know what? You don't have to listen to these thoughts. You do not have to listen to these lies, because that's what they are, lies. Okay, ladies, if there's nothing wrong with washing your body, touching your body and washing it in the shower, there's nothing wrong with self-pleasure. There's nothing wrong with you touching your own elbow, then there's nothing wrong with you touching your own pussy. It's your own body. And there's nothing shameful, bad, dirty, wrong, sinful, or evil about it, okay? That narrative is an abusive religious argument that seeks a totalitarian level of control over people, including their sexuality. So take back your power over this shame, ladies. Take it back. And feel free to get alone with yourself and explore what brings you pleasure anytime the mood strikes. And when you are in the mood, try experimenting with different toys if you haven't done so already. Not only can different toys produce completely different sensations and subsequent orgasms that can give you a ton of data to bring to your partner about what works for you, but incorporating toys can be a great option, especially, ladies, if you're suffering from any sort of trauma like vaginismus and you're pursuing your full healing and restoration in that area. In cases like these, I often recommend small tapered toys, typically designed for anal play, as they're usually much smaller and allow for much more ease of insertion than a typical dildo. But regardless of what toys you use and where, remember my 3 rules, especially for anal play. Start small, start slow, and keep it slick. And finally, ladies, let's set some empowering boundaries around our sexuality, because let me be crystal clear about something. desiring to feel deeply connected and loved by your partner before you have sex is totally normal and a perfectly reasonable boundary. Okay? Don't let our current hookup culture shame you, especially if you're in the lifestyle and aren't comfortable with pickup play and things like that. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not a prude. You're not closed-minded. You're a perfectly rational human being who understands that sex is not just a casual thing, as much as facets of our society may try to frame it that way. Think about it. If you bump into a stranger on the street and accidentally touch their shoulder, it's a simple matter of an apology and a smile. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Bump into a stranger on the street and touch their genitalia, and you're likely going to run into a variety of other more violent and severe options, possibly including jail time. That's why we teach children bodily autonomy. Sex is important, and our sex organs are private and sacred. We teach children that, but somehow we've lost it in adulthood. But if you agree with that, you think sex is sacred and powerful, and you have boundaries around your sexuality that you want to feel connected, you want to feel honored, you're allowed to set boundaries accordingly. You're allowed to say, no, I don't want to be fucked, I want to be loved. You're allowed to say, I want you to touch my heart before you touch my pussy. You're allowed to want to feel so connected and blissed out emotionally before you do anything physically. You are allowed to want connection before sex or as part of sex. So be honest with yourself and set the boundaries around your sexual experience that makes you feel honored and empowered. All right, ladies, I hope this inspired you to see your unique beauty, advocate for your value, and pursue your pleasure without shame. Which of these points did you find the most helpful to your feminine journey? Comment below and let me know. And be sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on, because next week we're jumping back into this series with 6 strategies for the men as to how you can inspire your woman to unleash her inner sex vixen. All right, so as promised, this little guy is our new friend here in the ellexarmy, the ellexarmy cow, but he doesn't have a name yet, so comment below with your best name suggestions. But essentially, our new friend is here to host an awesome new community feature to honor you, all of you. When I go through your comments, there are so many that are so wise and insightful, some that just absolutely make me just roll on the floor, laugh, you guys. You are so brilliant and hilarious. So the ellexarmy cow is here to honor you. And here's how it works. When you watch a video just like today, share your thoughts, share your insights in the comments. I'm going to go through the comments every week and choose my favorite. It could be the funniest one. It could be the most wise, insightful, whatever tickles my fancy that week. But I'm going to go through all of your comments. And in the next Q&A, the very next video that I do, the very next live video that I do, I'm going to announce our ellexarmy cow comment of the week. And I'm going to honor you live and read your comment and share your thoughts with this wonderful community.